This holiday season, a great debate is going to start in homes all across the country. And it's not whose house should we get together for the holidays or what gift to get grandma. It's going to be much deeper than that. The debate is going to be over whether or not Die Hard is considered a Christmas film. In this episode, we're going to break it all down. I'm Bob, you're you, and this is Classically Bad Cinema. This 1988 box office hit stars Bruce Willis as New York City policeman John McClane, who's in LA visiting his estranged wife and their two kids on Christmas Eve. He joins her at a holiday party in the headquarters of the Japanese-owned business that she works for. But the party quickly gets interrupted by a group of baddies who take over the exclusive high-rise and everyone in it, and terrorist-led mayhem ensues. This leaves John McClane as the only one to save the hostages and Christmas. So how can an action film that was released in July of a New York cop saving hostages from a terrorist organization be considered a Christmas film? Well, time to dig into this controversy. The first thing we need to look at is the elements of what makes a Christmas film. Is there a Santa? Is there any ho-ho-ho going on? Is there Christmas music, presents, and other related Christmas references? The film actively utilizes the Christmas setting to drive the plot and storytelling. The most integral element of this film is the fact that it takes place during the office Christmas party, which more often than not leads to excess drinking, drug use, and other shenanigans that end up on HR's desk later on. And it made perfect sense that Han and his crew would pick this time of year to carry out their scheme at the Nakatomi Plaza. Hans and his merry crew of helpers need executives to be around, security to be loose in order to carry out their plan. Offices don't hold parties like this at any other time of the year. Some may say, well, it wasn't even released in December. How can it be a Christmas film? Which is true. The movie was released in July of 1988, but actually supposed to take place during December. Well, if you remember my review on Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, that film was released in early November. So release dates don't always line up as you'd think they would. For many, It's a Wonderful Life is one of the all-time classic Christmas films. But what many don't realize is that film was never meant to be released at Christmas. RKO Studios had another film lined up, but due to some unforeseen delays were forced to move Jimmy Stewart's classic up a couple months. Die Hard is actually based on a novel. Not only that, but a sequel to another novel called The Detective, which was made into a moderately successful Frank Sinatra picture in 1968. Roderick Thorpe's Nothing Lasts Forever centers on a retired private eye who reunites with his estranged daughter and grandchildren in a Los Angeles skyscraper amidst a corporate Christmas party, only to have the party and the building taken over by German terrorists, leaving the aging officer to fight for his life and his family. Some may say there's just too much violence in this film and weapon usage for this to be a Christmas film. Well, I bring Exhibit A, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. In the last act, Yukon Cornelius tackles the abominable snow monster right off the side of the cliff, taking his dogs with him for the ride. In Santa Claus Conquers the Martians repeatedly point weapons at Santa and the kids. Voldar and Kimar fight on a couple separate occasions. Santa and the kids are held against their will on Mars. Torg breaks down Santa's workshop door while Voldar shoots two elves and Mrs. Claus before kidnapping Santa. Voldar makes attempts to kill Santa and the kids by shooting them out the airlock. The Grinch treats his dog like hell, he whips Max, and then he steals a ton of shit. Probably around the same $640 million in bearer bonds that Hans is stealing in this film. In Frosty the Snowman, the evil magician tries to kill Frosty by melting him just to get his damn hat back. In Santa Claus Comes to Town, the evil Burgermeister Meister Burger throws Santa and his friends in a dungeon and threatens to throw away the key. The Winter Warlock threatens to kill Santa early in the movie. How much violence is there in Home Alone, I ask? Or Part 2, or Gremlin, the list goes on and on. But yet somehow the violence and hostage-taking here doesn't constitute this being a Christmas film. Santa Claus does make appearance throughout this film in different spots, in a way. I mean, even the first bad guy that McClane kills during the fight earlier in the film dresses up as Santa. Kinda, sorta, I guess. So not only do we get kinda, sort of a person dressed as Santa, we also get somebody saying ho ho ho. That's got to be a Christmas film, right?
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
You also want presents? Oh, we got presents. Not only does John bring a stuffed animal with him to give his wife or one of the kids, we get introduced to cop Al Powell as he's buying his pregnant wife Twinkies. John's wife Holly gets a Rolex from her boss as a company present. And the FBI gives Hans access to the vault when they shut the power grid off. And of course, let's not forget McClane's gun. It's wrapped with Christmas tape on his back before giving a bullet to Hans and his buddy.
Happy trails, Hans.
Santa and the presents aren't the only references to Christmas. You have Frosty the Snowman, you have a number of Christmas trees throughout the scenes of this film. We have Christmas wreaths, and no Christmas film would be complete without a Merry Christmas or two.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you.
Die Hard definitely values family and friends over greed and materialism, which is a traditional Christmas message of many other films. John goes to great lengths to save his wife that he says
that she's the best thing that ever happened to a bum like me.
Even the bad guys value family to some extent. I mean, look at Carl's reaction after learning that his brother was killed, which ends up making him a very deadly opponent for John later on. And I'd be amiss if I didn't mention the importance of Al and John's friendship, despite the fact that they only spend a few minutes on screen together. The film also has a number of different instances where it uses Christmas music. The Die Hard soundtrack is loaded with Christmas songs. Winter Wonderland, Let It Snow, Christmas in Hollis, and Ode to Joy are all on the soundtrack and make an appearance in one form or another in the film. And I'm not talking about a Terminator 2 type of music where they play GNR You Could Be Mine for like 5 seconds. Among the most memorable Yuletide moments is cop Al Powell singing Let It Snow right before a terrorist's bloody corpse falls on his patrol car.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, dum-da-dum, delightful, but nobody has no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Or the memorable Ode to Joy instrumental cue when the vault is finally opened. There is some language in this film, but that can be said also to some other holiday classics.
We're gonna press on, and we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
And an asshole in his bathrobe, emptying a chemical toilet into my sewer.
Shitter was full!
Yeah. You checked our shitters, honey?
Clark. Well, go on, smart ass, and do it. I'm going.
The dialogue is heavily Christmas related too.
Like this last one's gonna take a miracle.
It's Christmas, Theo. It's the time of miracles, so be of good cheer and call me when you hit the last lock.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring except the 4 assholes coming in the rear in standard 2x2 cover formation.
This is their idea of Christmas. I gotta be there for New Year's.
You ask for miracles, Theo. I give you the FBI.
One just needs to look at the data because facts don't lie. In 2016, Dish Network reported that 1.3 million Americans watched Die Hard on Christmas Eve, and that beat out traditional Christmas favorites like Home Alone, Miracle on 34th Street, and The Santa Claus, prompting 20th Century Fox to re-edit the movie's trailer into the greatest Christmas story ever told. In London, the Prince Charles Cinema regularly adds it to their annual selection of Christmas films. Google Trend data for the term Die Hard spikes every December. The most obvious reason why Die Hard is definitely a Christmas film is simply filmgoers have deemed it a Christmas film. Many families sit around the TV together as part of their holiday festivities and watch Die Hard. And as mentioned earlier, It's a Wonderful Life was never meant to be a Christmas film either. A story of a man wanting to kill himself doesn't necessarily scream Merry Christmas, but legions of fans watching it traditionally around the holidays made it a staple that it is today. And the same can be said of Die Hard as well. It's a Christmas film simply because viewers like yourselves have decided it is, and it's all that matters. Well, before we wrap up this film, we gotta show it.
That's not a hostage.
Well, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button below. If you didn't enjoy it, then tell that buddy that only calls to borrow you and your truck to help him move, hit that like and subscribe button. But that's all I got. Until next time, I'm Bob, you're you, yippee-ki-yay, mother.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.